before we get started. Make sure when you come in, man, hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell. Yeah, blessings to everybody. Come on up in here. Let's fellowship about this game one time. As you can see, one more again, you know what I mean? We in this beautiful Mississauga, you know what I mean, Canada. Hold on, let me see what time it is. Yeah, 4:51. EST time. You know, hold on. See the car coming, you know. But yeah, 4:51, man, EST time in this Mississauga, Canada, man. And we're here, you know what I mean, to see Sharp interview the legendary, the incomparable, you know what I mean, took this game to heights that we never seen before. You know, the man that gave a greater revelation about being a man. One of the coldest, if not the coldest, you know what I mean, vessels that have ever been used by the game. Gorgeous motherfucking Dre. Get up in here. By all means, get up in here. Bless yourself. Let's enjoy this. I know it's late. I know some of y'all like, oh my God, is that Pimp live again? Some of y'all wives and girlfriends, they like, turn that off. Because every time you watch that Pimp dude, you start talking to me crazy. Talk to your wife right, man. Talk to your girlfriend right. So you can watch my videos. Last time, you know what I mean, you told your wife to do something, or your girlfriend to do something, your boo thing to do something, and because of the tone of your voice, you know what I mean, she put you on punishment. All right, so let's not get carried away with these Pimp videos and start talking to your girlfriend and your boo, especially some of y'all living with women right now. So I'm not trying to get you kicked out. Hey man, saying, you know, I just watched one of your videos, man, and I got amped up and, you know, I started giving my woman instructions, man, and what happened? Well, you know, I'm waiting on my grandmama to pick me up, man. I got to stay at my grandmother for a while, man. Yeah, man, the bitch didn't kick me out, you know? But yeah, man, without any further ado, let's get straight to it, man. Let's start the video. Come on.
The Shark Tank.
Oh, and just to let you know, this game is brought to you by the game and Fiji Water. Fiji, go ahead and cut the check. Come on.
No jumper.
Oh, and for those that don't know, yeah, seeing haven't done a no jumper sharp review in a while. I said my reasons for that, but you know, Dre is up there, so I couldn't pass this up. A lot of things just be bigger than me. And this was bigger than me. You know, Sharp interviewing Dre on a platform like this is big, you know, so by all means, you know what I mean, we definitely need to watch this, and you need to be blessed by this. So come on.
Sharpest, coolest podcast in the world. And today, I got a good brother in the building with me today, man. You know, I got a lot of respect for, you know, and I've watched, you know, in my up and comings throughout the game. You know, activists today really done stepped your game up in a lot of ways. I got gorgeous Dre in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And we about to get ready to kick this one off, man, you know, because I want the viewers to know who you are, you know, and what you're about, what you stand for, you know. Where'd you grow up? Like for you, where'd you grow up at, man?
I was born in Seattle and I was raised in LA.
Was raised in LA.
Yeah, raised in LA.
How was that for you?
You know, my mom's side of the family was Seattle. My dad's side was LA, so they shipped me back and forth.
Yeah.
So I took the best out of both locations, you know.
Yeah, that's live right there.
Yes, sir.
When did you become a student of the game?
Listen, my mama was a hoe, my dad was a pimp. I was born out of the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Funny thing is that my father, Mel Taylor, he never really glamorized life to me. He didn't want me to be in that.
If you always pay attention, Dre glorifies his father the same way that Christ glorified his father. Not trying to make Dre some type of Christ, but just pay attention. That is very godly of him. The way that Dre loves and, exalts his father is the same way that Yaharanshi exalts Yahweh. Pay attention. He always gives acknowledgement to Mel Taylor. Always. He always honors his father. We should always honor men that honor their father. Yes, blessings to all the mothers out there. But take the time out to honor the men. Notice that the scripture says, honor thy father and thy mother. The father is first.
He wanted me to be like a criminal attorney or something,
Yeah.
So he never said, I want you to be a pimp. So it's so funny how whatever you resist persists, because ultimately, I became a gentleman believer in the beginning,
Love that.
Yeah.
You can't walk over that. What you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. If it's in you, if it's meant to be, if it's predestined to be, it's always going to be there. It's going to happen. Some of you women right now, you've been listening to this game right now. You might be in a situationship that you think that's a relationship, soon to be a battleship. I don't know. But, you've been fantasizing and, really thinking about being in this game, really thinking about being with this pimping, That boyfriend it ain't satisfying to you. That whatever you got going on, it ain't satisfying to you. You really been thinking about getting in this game. What you resist will persist. Some of you resisting this game, you trying to resist it. But it's in you. It's only a matter of time. The game gonna keep knocking on your door. And I'm gonna just call them things which be not as though they were. You coming. Hey, Brother Jackson, appreciate the respect. Blessings to you. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Love that. So you even coming into the game, was there any struggles at times that you may have had to overcome through that? Or was it just all glitz and glamour?
Well, let me just say, when we did American Pimp, the Hughes brothers had a daddy that was in the game, and they wanted to experience or have an experience, a breakdown of what the...
I never knew that the Hughes brothers' father was in the game until Dre told me. Dre revealed that. A lot of information that I knew pertaining to American Pimp. When you hear me saying things, I'm only repeating what Dre gave me. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's what he said. And if Dre said it, gotta be correct. Come on.
And the lifestyle was about.
Yeah.
So they had contacted like Bishop and Rosebud, and I think Shantae, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And through Rosebud, they got in contact with my father. That's how I came into the picture. So we brought them over to the house in Frisco, had a mansion. And so I guess them seeing, what a dude could have in the game made them want to hire me for the remainder of the film.
Yeah.
So they actually hired me as a technical advisor. At the end of the movie, you'll see my credits, Andre Taylor, as a technical advisor.
Yeah.
So after they hired me, I put the majority of the guys in the film. Kenny Red, RP. I mean, the majority of the rest of the guys, maybe 85% of the people I put into the movie American Pimp. It was smarter the Hughes brothers to hire me because a lot of guys wouldn't have really trusted. But because they had me on board, dudes trusted me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why do you feel that was?
They knew who I was in the game,
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just say this. Yes, after the Hughes brothers seen how Dre was balling, after they seen that, wow, we didn't know a pimp could actually live in a mansion. We seen Cadillacs. We seen some nice suits. You know what I mean? We seen basically, individuals, with a few little jewels and things. But to actually see somebody in a mansion home, living in a mansion, Versace down, Versace over here, Versace over there, the place was beautiful. And so after seeing that, that's what compelled them to basically sit up there and appoint, Dre over everything. Because at first, Rosebud really was their man. But, now that you have a younger, active, guy that's in the lifestyle that is really prospering on a level that you didn't even think that was possible. Yes, they like, man, we found our guy. And that's pretty much what happened. It's because they was astonished, because of the pimping that Dre was doing at that time.
Had a good reputation for being a good dude, so they trusted me.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I think they gave me like $15,000
Yeah.
for the technical advisor.
What year was this when that was?
This was 96. Okay. The end of 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So $15,000 was a nice piece of change back then.
Well, let me explain to you. What they told me is that people don't get, really paid for documentaries. Because I told them, all the guys that I'm going to get in it, you're going to have to give them some money, whether they get paid normally or not. You got to at least give them $1,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all the guys that came in from me, they got $1,000, even though documentaries you don't get paid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they gave me that little change and stuff, and I wasn't going to do American Pimp. But Alan Hughes said something to me, man, that changed my mind. Alan Hughes said, Dre, man, before you decide no, let me just tell you, man. He said that, everything that's done on film goes down in the history. And I said, goes down in history? That appealed to my ego.
Mind you, it's 96, so when somebody says that to you, it sounds very foreign for that time frame.
Yeah. I was like, go down in history?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, man, I think I want to go down in history, man. And that's what made me get into American Pimp, Yeah.
And yes, whether you like him or not, whether you like whoever was in the film or not, American Pimp still to this day is the best documentary about the lifestyle. There is no documentary. There is no film that is equivalent to American Pimp. By far, so far, that is the best film about the lifestyle, American Pimp.
It was a great experience, man, and I knew that they were professional filmmakers, and I didn't mind being attached to the project because they was involved.
Yeah. Were you a bit worried when you seen that it took storm across the nation? Because American Pimp, especially at that time, and I feel like it's a classic now. If because it's some of the early stages of documentation of what I'm saying, just even real life.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel when you seen it start taking storm? Was there any type of problems that came about of it, or was it just like we did this, it's solid, it kind of helped us? You know what I'm saying? What did you feel like you gained out of it after it was all said and done?
The truth of the matter is there was no point of reference for anybody that did the film because there was nothing like it before, right?
Right.
So we just went in not knowing exactly what it was going to materialize, but it ended up being so big, right? It changed the terminology and the thought about pimping, because then Pimp My Ride came out and, Pimp Your MySpace back in the day. And America embraced the pimping as an upgrade. And we were tripping off of that. Like, damn, we done changed the whole culture, right?
Right.
So consequently, I caught a case during the filming of the American Pimp, and they ended the movie with me. See, I was in Clark County Detention Center. And
that's Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's in Las Vegas. And I don't know how the Hughes brothers got clearance to come in and film, because normally you can't film nobody in jail. But somehow they got some clearance to come in and film me, and they were saying they didn't have an ending to the movie, but this would be a good ending. So in American Pimp, when you see me in Clark County, it's because they got clearance to come in there and film. Funny thing is, because I wasn't really talking when I was in jail. Wow. I wasn't really talking and shit, right? But when the Hughes brothers came in with them cameras, they closed all the cells down. Them niggas was like, who is this nigga, man?
He a rapper. He's something like
nigga. Brothers is coming to film this nigga, man.
And of course, I'm laughing because I done been in CCDC before, so I can only imagine. I was in CCDC for 13 months, so I can only imagine. You seeing somebody every day. In jail, and then all these squares come up in here with cameras and they shut everything down. I already know they was thinking like that, you know. But also, I just want to say, just giving pointers, not stepping on toes. When you have somebody with this great of a testimony, it's important that you always start off, at least for those of you that's listening right now, because I just want to give this to you. You know, some of you is wondering how I'm gonna become a millionaire, how I'm gonna become this, or how could I get into some legal activity? Why don't you pick up a camera and start interviewing people? Why Vlad got to get all the money? Why Mark from Soft White Underbelly got to get all the money? Why the other man got to get all the money? Black man, pick up that camera. Some of y'all know too many gangsters, too many pimps, too many Macs, too many reputable, respectable individuals that had impeccable representation in the location of the streets, that everybody would just be mesmerized and want to memorize every word that proceed out of their mouth. And for you to not sit up there and interview these individuals, and get paid and build a platform and become a millionaire yourself, man, you crazy. Sitting over there working that 9 to 5, or you getting in criminality, or you doing things that's contrary to the law to have it all, where you could actually sit up there and have it all, doing legal things. Come on now. So again, I just give you a pointer, like when you got somebody like Gorgeous Dre, it's important that you start off with the fire. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, the youth, we got a representation of the truth right now. You know what I mean? The man that, brought style in the game. Individuals didn't even know where Versace was at this particular time. The man that was living in a mansion home in Frisco, a mansion home, you have to give that introduction, that fire. And then when he bringing up people like Mel Taylor, you supposed to ask questions about, of course, Dre, you here, man, and we love that you here. But just give us a little information about Mel. And that would have fired Dre up, because he loved talking about his father, and we love listening, about, Mel Taylor. So as soon as somebody would, as soon as anybody in the interview would have asked a question like that, he would have fired off. And then that's when you start asking about, representation. What the fuck? What is that? Yeah, man, ain't no time out. Get that individual out of here. What's wrong with you? You know, ask him about legendary representation from his father's era, because a lot of people only know names from American Pimp, Pimps Up, Hoes Down, and Players Balls and things that they see on YouTube. They don't know about a lot of legendary representation that come from the Mel Taylor era. This was a good time to mention those individuals. Dre is just too important of an individual to have on a platform and not be asking him questions. Whenever you got the opportunity to talk to Dre, people like Virgil or Fillmore Slim, walking epistles about this game, walking museums about this game, you ask them as many questions as you can. You get the game, and you speak in the vernacular of silence when they speaking. Come on.
Man, it was just, even the guards was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So American Pimp, it went to the Sundance Film Festival. It won.
Yeah.
And then
Independent films, right?
Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
And then the next year they released it in some theaters, just a small percentage of the theaters around the country.
Yeah.
And they was almost blackballed because they didn't want to sell the film at Sundance Film Festival. So a lot of the big movie houses, Miramax and all that, kind of tried to blackball the Hughes brothers.
Wow.
So what ended up happening is a small company called Seventh Art actually distributed to just maybe 10 major metropolitan places around the country. So it did hit the big screen.
Yeah.
But it made all its money in video sales. That's where it made the majority of the money. So, when I got out the joint, people was coming up to me, and I was like, hold on, I was kind of leery because I'm just getting out the joint, but people were coming up to me like, man, that's Gorgeous Dre, because I really didn't know how much the film had impacted the society and the culture.
Yeah.
And people were coming up to me, and I was like, what is going on here? So it made a lot of us famous, man. You know, it really did. And if you were smart, you was able to bubble off that.
Yeah. I wonder if the Hughes brothers,
if you had some game, and Of course, we just lost K-Red, but K-Red and Dre was good examples of still being able to live off the fame from basically the game that was conveyed, by them in American Pimp. Everybody wasn't able to reinvent themselves. They were. They was able to reinvent themselves. They was able to adapt. That's one thing that K Red was able to do that a lot of other pimps, from his era wasn't able to do. Be able to basically sit up there and not only adapt but reinvent themselves, for that time so they could still stay relevant. And yeah, man, American Pimp definitely put them in position so they can have what they need and want and be a blessing to themselves for the rest of their lives and on and on and on. Come on.
Still making money off that today. Some
No.
type of royalty somewhere.
Because they sold it to who they sell that to? Huh? MGM. That's right. They sold it to MGM. MGM made all the money. Yeah, they sold American Pimp to MGM. And so it is rumored that American Pimp made $100 million in video sales. $100 million in just video sales. But Hughes Brothers didn't get that money. Yeah.
Do you think?
I just remembered, I wasn't even thinking about that, but the game just spoke to me now. Some of y'all need to go to the Real Gorgeous Dre on Instagram. Go to the Real Gorgeous Dre and shout out to No Jumper because I thought that was very fly. You will notice when the video starts, you will see that the names appear. The names appear. Hold on, let me go back. You'll notice as soon as the thing come on, I thought this was so fly by No Jumper. Hey, get my likes up, man. We got almost 400 people up in here at 4 something in the morning, and it's only 160 likes. Did the like button knock you for the bitch? Did the like button knock you for your wife? Do the like button got you living a new life? You know what I mean? Damn, man, what that like button do to you, man? Take your nutty professor finger, man, hit that motherfucking like button right now. If the like button didn't knock you for a bitch, if the like button didn't mess up your marriage, if the like button didn't turn your relationship into a battleship right now, then hit the motherfucking like button, man. Everybody come on one accord and hit that like button. And shout out to Denise and, Trinity Time Travels and, Miss Mia, all the fine ass women that's, up right now watching this game. But watch this. Watch when it come on. Watch how the names appear. This the IG. I want y'all to go to Instagram and follow the Real Gorgeous Dre. And the purpose of I want you to do that is because he's teaching. So I want you to subscribe. Instagram has enabled people to subscribe now to people's Instagram pages, and he's back teaching, but he's not on YouTube. He's on Instagram. So, if you want this game, if you want this information, if you want some inspiration, if you want words of exhortation, man, about life and the lifestyle, I suggest that you go to Real Gorgeous Dre on Instagram and click on the subscribe button and actually follow him as well. But watch this.
The Shark Tank. No Jumper.
Watch how them names
the
appear.
Sharpest, coolest podcast in the world. And today, I got a good brother in the building with me today, man. I got a lot of respect for it, and I've watched, in my up and comings throughout the game. Activists today really done stepped your game up in a lot of ways. I got gorgeous.
That's cold. That's cold right there. Yeah, No Jumper fly for that, Hold on, let me get back to this game that I never left. All right, come on.
Yeah.
I left the game while I was in prison. Hughes Brothers didn't get that money. Yeah.
Do you think if they would have broke you off some money like that?
Cool, appreciate that, man. Appreciate the respect. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, man. Whole bunch of ones beat a whole bunch of nuns, baby. Appreciate that respect, fam. Come on.
Substantial amount of money, you possibly would have left the game or you would have stayed in?
I left the game while I was in prison. I was already transitioning anyway, right? People ask me this all the time, man, why you what happened, man? Was you scared because you had went to jail and this, that? I said, no, man. When I got out, I had reached the pinnacle of the game. And I explain this all the time, Sharp. I said, listen, man, the pimping is not the game. It is a small part of the game. The game is much bigger than pimping. I might not be pimping over 20 years, but I've never left the game. I utilize the game in every area in my life, right? And later on, we could talk about how I utilized it to lead this whole country in police accountability and submitted a whole state because of the game. See, a lot of youngsters out there think that, man, the pimping, that's what the game consists of. It's not true. It's a small part of it. But you can utilize the game in every area of life. Even when I was in the game, and some of the bras that were with me, I used to tell them, when I give you this information, I can't take it back. And it's not to make you a better hoe. It's to make you be able to flourish in whatever life you choose to.
Hey, do not make any lame ass jokes about Dre. Again, when it comes to, that's one thing I like about K-Red, them OGs, man. K-Red always said, it's about the respect. And when it comes to, people like Phil Mo and things like, or Virgil, all of them jokes, all them AOL, Yahoo email jokes that y'all be making in my comment section, man. Hey, save that, man. Don't make no corny jokes pertaining to Dre. Be respectful. Now, of course, we going to talk shit. We going to tell the truth about the youth. We going to roast each other. Hell, roast me. Roast everybody. But when it comes to veteran, legendary representation of the game, give them that respect, in regards of not making jokes about a hairline and all of that. Do that with the youth. Do that with your peers.
Game in.
Yeah.
And that's what the game is. It's just broadening, taking the information. When people think about the game, they think about it's some deceit or trickery.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the game is the ultimate truth.
Yeah.
For instance, if I meet a girl, I'm going to tell her right from the gate, you might not want to mess with me because, I'm not no square and I don't do everything according to the law. So right from the gate, I'm giving her an opportunity to decide whether she want to go forward. Because I don't want down the line, she find out what I'm involved in and think that I'm a liar. I want to establish from the beginning that I'm such a man that I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm giving you a chance to decide whether you want to fuck with me or not.
That's honest pimping.
That's just the game.
Yeah.
You see them?
Pimpin' ass nigga, he don't owe the game no apology. What you talking about? He one of the coldest blessings to the game. He got the game looking good. Man, you squares just be talking, man. How he owe the game an apology when he done made the game look good on a level that nobody in the game has ever made the game look good? Come on, man. Know what you talking about, fam. All these squares sitting over there speaking about this pimping, man. You know what I mean? Hey, and just to keep it all the way 100, have you ever pimped on a level or did anything in this game that made you worthy to even speak like that? Get your works right. Come on, man. Y'all be too y'all got too much liberty, man, to just be speaking on, legendary representation of the game, man. Humble yourself.
And it's just a game.
Yeah.
But people always think the game is trickery and deceit. That's never been the game. And if you think you in the...
Oh, okay. You talking about the dude that disrespected him? Okay. My bad on that. Forgive me, loved one. Forgive me. That's just seeing jumping the gun. Forgive me. Charge. Forgive me, man. Don't throw me in no hell. Forgive me. I make plenty of mistakes and gonna make more. Forgive me. That's just me tripping then. My bad, loved one.
And you are tricking broads and deceiving broads, then you make you like a square.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the first thing about manhood is honesty and truth. I'm so big and confident enough in who I am as a man, I can tell her up front, this is what it's about. Choose wisely.
Yeah.
Because I'm not no fucking joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
And what I've learned, Sharp, a broad be more interested in you then. They'd be like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Because you know what, at the end of the day,
No. Now Sharp about to go in with it, and shout out to Sharp. Let me say that Sharp is another one. You got different pimps wearing the cheap perfume of jealousy, talking about how come Sharp ain't brought a real church member, up there. It's just a lot of jealousy towards Sharp right now. And if those of you that's on my Patreon, Sin ain't got one jealous bone in his body, because every time Sharp posts anything, what am I doing? I'm sharing it on the Patreon. Why? Because I'm showing love to the game. Yeah, Sin might joke and say this or that, but at the same time, you can't deny that right now he has the attention on himself, and he's basically sitting over there as a representation, an ambassador of the lifestyle. Okay, so a lot of pimps are jealous of that, because it's always going to be somebody that think that they should have your attention. It's always somebody that think that you don't deserve what you was blessed to have. All right. So, again, blessings to Sharp, blessings to his journey. I hope he get everything God allows him and the game blesses him to have. All right. So make sure you hit the like button. But no, after Dre just dropped the jewels, after we just seen all the jewelry that came out of Dre's mouth, the next question should have been, where did you get that from? What made you like that? Because you got a lot of individuals that's liars, that's deceivers and con artists and things like that. Who taught you that? Or what experience did you have to make you come to that realization? And of course, Dre would have went back again, to his point of reference, to his greatest example in the physical, his father. And that's how you keep getting so much, history about Dre, and not just that, but you get, knowledge pertaining to legendary pimping. You could have heard a conversation about a Joe Cato, a Joe Langford. You could have heard a conversation about the Magnificent Seven. You could have got you a conversation about, Black Jesus. You could, you could have, man, you could have heard a lot of great stories from a time where the men in the game was Renaissance men. And so that's why you have to ask the right questions so you can get the right answers, so everybody can be blessed with the right game. You dig?
me personally, I don't want to have to remember the lie.
Yeah.
That just as a man,
That's
you know,
cool.
just
That's
as a
cool.
man, I don't want to have to remember the lie I told anybody,
Yeah.
woman or man. You know, I like to be able to be firm and be me. I want to wake up and honestly be me, not having to look over my shoulder that I lied to this person, I robbed this person, I took from this person. No, man, anything that when I was in the game, anything that I touched, it was given to me. I never took anything. I never had to snatch a bitch purse and go in it and reach the money out and throw her purse to the ground and shove her to the ground. Like, that's not it, man. That's shit that I try to tell them that they see on television, man, because this is the thing that they portray to society to keep them away from it, or look at it bad when you run into people like that. People don't understand. They've been walking amongst pimps and hoes forever, you know? You just don't see it because, like I said, man, we were ninjas, man. You didn't really see us. We were able to wear sheep's clothing, you know, being the werewolves that we were, you know, amongst the rest of the sheep, you know, because it was a quiet move. Now, everybody, man, out spazzing, you want to record yourself.
Now I know what sharp means, but because you're on a square platform like No Jumper, I would have never referred to us as werewolves. Just like in American Pimp, I would have never said what Bradley said when he was like, sometime a pimp got to come through, like the werewolf of London, catch a little, children of the night, bitches on skateboards. And you got to always keep in mind, these are squares that's listening. And that's how that's how they're able to categorize us. That's how they're able to take statements that we make and put false narratives to it. That's what I was trying to teach the square ass nigga Dr. BOA when he kept using words like manipulate. If you notice when Sin talk, Sin don't be using words like, yeah, man, I'm talking about I had to manipulate the bitch. We manipulate the bitch and I mean, yeah, man, I'm just coming up, man, I mean, that's when I had to We don't talk like that. Why? Because that's how squares make us appear to society. That's why people within religiosity have categorized us as individuals that's, werewolves and demons. And I know what sharp means. He didn't say nothing wrong, but I just would have used, something else to convey my point because that can be comprehended wrong.
Taking money from a chick or out there beating motherfuckers, riding up and down the blade, man, you setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
For real, man. And I feel you when you talk about,
Get my likes to 300. Everybody click on the like button. Come on, man. We damn near got 500 people up in here at this time. Get them likes up. Stop playing with me. As Bishop would say, man, you got to be ready for the Kentucky Derby. You know what I'm saying? Stick whooping, like button whooping, laptop whooping, Mississauga whooping, Canada whooping. Do you understand me? Fiji whooping, gym whooping, iPhone whooping, all of that. You know what I'm saying? She had to be ready for the Kentucky Derby. Man, hit that like button, man. Come on.
this is a small portion of the game. Like, man, you have to elevate at some point, because I feel like even a chick that messes with you, she's gonna see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? We've been doing this for the last up 10 years or 7 years, 6 months. A chick just want a real one, I feel wants to make progress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to be a man that's willing to pursue that yourself.
But a dude can't transmit what he don't got.
No.
If all you have is a ghetto mentality, right? If you haven't read or learned anything outside of the ghetto, all you can do is transmit to the broad that's with you that mentality.
When Sin says you can't conform to something that you haven't been informed about, or you can't perform what you haven't been informed about, you're going to need an informative representative. That's where my inspiration comes from. It comes from when Dre made that statement that, a ghetto man can only transmit his ghetto mentality. He can't lead a woman nowhere where he hasn't been. He can't give a woman a withdrawal where he doesn't have a deposit. So when Dre made those statements, that's what gave me the inspiration to say that, a woman can only conform to what she's informed about. A woman or a woman can only perform to, what she's informed about. That's why an informative representative is a necessity. She's in need of the information. Just looking good ain't good enough. The game, got to come in. That's where, Sin got that from. It was because of the jewelry that came out of Dre's mouth that inspired that. Just paying homage and giving acknowledgement. Let's go.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
you can't
right.
transmit what you don't have.
Yeah.
So it's incumbent upon, in the game in my father's time, it was like Renaissance men, well-read, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those men back then were educated, self-educated.
Yeah.
They had some class. Now they don't know nothing about that. I was fortunate to have my father.
When he said that, the moment that Dre finishes that, he should have said, Dre, give us some more examples. Do you know when you say Renaissance men, who were the Renaissance men from that particular time?
Let me know. I said an American Pimp, and I think that this is something that struck a chord with a lot of people, because after I got out, there was a lot of people, and not necessarily pimps, just, squares or average dude that have jobs or gang members, even some dope boys or whatever, that used to say to me, man, when you said that shit in American Pimp about being a man before you anything, being a man first, that did something for me, man. Because they seen me up underneath pressure, facing a life sentence, saying, that was a real story. You know what I'm saying? That if you think that bringing me to jail was about to strip me from being the man that I am, then you're badly mistaken, because I'm going to stay that, right? So being able to say that my father taught me, before you a doctor, before you a lawyer, before you a pimp, you got to be a man first.
For anything.
But if you don't know what a man is, if you haven't had no examples of manhood, right? If you were raised in a home without a daddy, right? And somebody expects you to be a man. You know, the other day I said on my Instagram, I said, you know what? A lot of you youngsters out there, I realize that you ain't afraid of dying, right? You willing to give your life if somebody disrespect you, step on your little tennis shoe or whatever. You ain't afraid of dying. But what you are afraid of is living. You know why you're afraid of living? Because you got to be a man one day and you don't know what that is. Right? You got to be accountable to something. When they telling you being a man means you got to take care of a family, right? You got to be the man of the household, and he trying to figure out what the hell is that? I ain't never known nothing about my daddy taking care of me, right? I don't know what no security means. So in itself, he feeling deficient. Be a man. These niggas out here, these youngsters, they scared of living, man. Right?
Right. Well, I feel like, you know, to live.
Wow. Jewelry dropped. They not when you listen to that, and I know we dying everywhere, but I mean, by me being from there, of course, when Dre said that, immediately I thought about the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago is full of youth that's not afraid to die, but they're afraid to live. That's my city, like hands down. That's one of the coldest definitions for the youth in the city of Chicago. They ain't afraid to die, but they afraid to live. That was cold. That was cold. Get them likes up. Share this video, man. There's too many young people that need to hear this. So by all means, come on one accord, and share this, hit the like button and all of that. That was very profound. That was jewelry. Come on.
I wouldn't mind having to go through things in my life because I feel like as a man, it polishes your armor. You know what I'm saying? And it builds your armor. It builds character to you, whether it's in your eyes or your voice. You know, that's why when you talk to somebody, people be like, man, I see you. I can just tell you've been through something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just it's a way that it puts the armor on you. You know what I'm saying? That you walk around. I would never have wanted, being broke, I didn't want to be. But being sheltered, I never wanted to be that neither, because I know that doesn't build men either. You know, being sheltered, not seeing nothing, and kids sitting there and watching what they see on TV, motherfuckers with a bunch of guns, motherfuckers outside playing cops and robbers with each other, cap guns, shooting at each other. You know, they see that, man, instead of going out into the real world, man, and just really living. You have to think about it, man. Social media, I came in the game where there was none of that.
Right.
Like the social media, man, a bitch call you from the pay phone or from the room phone. Right. You know, now everybody's got phones. It's all this technology, man. It's really changed the core of how people live. You had to go outside and make your life. You know, you don't have to do that no more. You can sit there and at a click of a button, show anybody, and everything else can be fucked up around you, but you're gonna look like you got a bunch of money and you got some lights right there, and it looks like glitz and glamour. You can fake it today.
Yeah.
That's why you got a lot of people doing that. Even on social media, a lot of people are just faking, man. Clout.
Now I know y'all saying that Sharp just talking to be talk, or he love his own voice, and I will say that after the jury that just proceeded out of Dre's mouth, Sharp definitely should have asked another question to get more jury. So if somebody make a statement, let me help you guys do an interview. I've never went to school for it. I just love the game, and I just know how to get the pimping out of the pimping. So after some jury like that is released out of, the mouth of a pimp, and they say something profound like that, they're scared. They not afraid to die, but they scared to live. And once, Dre started defining the man and everything, I would have asked Dre, could you just do that for us, man? Could you just give us some clarity? You said they're afraid to live. What's living? What's life? What is life? And I promise you, always remember what Dre taught us. The revelation is in the why. The revelation is in the how. The revelation is into what's that? That's how you come up on revelation within the conversation. Asking why, how, what is that? So the moment that Dre said, Sharp was supposed to come immediately after that, and he was supposed to say, Pete, could you define what life is? Because we got so many youth, when we listen to drill music, when we listen to the things that are being said on social media about a lot of the youth, they're always celebrating death, talking about death, glorifying death. That's the very thing that they should be mortifying, they glorifying. So for for the individuals that's just existing, could you just give a definition concerning what life is? What does it mean to live? And I promise you that Dre would have fluently, eloquently broke it down to where it would have been eternally broken. But blessings, man. Blessings to Sharp. You know what I mean? He's getting better. He's getting a lot better. You know what I mean? He's come a long way. So, the disrespect, that's not gonna be tolerated or anything, because he making the game look good as well, man. Blessings to him. Come on.
Well, let me unpack what you said about going through something should build character, right?
Yeah.
But there's another side of that.
Yeah.
Going through something have made a lot of us bitter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they haven't been taught how to take in experiences and build upon those experiences.
Right.
They haven't been taught that.
But living bitter, that's not a life worth a damned.
Well,
I wouldn't want to live as a man.
Now I hear Sharp, and I know he about to come with what he coming with. But see, I'ma just say this: if you give me somebody like a Virgil, those of you that's on my Patreon, and you want to start learning how to do interviews and things like that, listen to the way that I spoke to Virgil. Listen to the way that I spoke to Ron Newt. I mean, hell, listen to the interview I just did, the video I just did with Gangsta Brown. And you will see that I'm not trying to have now if they say anything that's completely just too way out of line, I have to, as a watchman of the game, correct that either on the spot or when the time presents itself to give clarity. But for the most part, when it comes to, I'll give you an example. Matter of fact, yesterday, I had the chance to speak to Rody Mack. A lot of y'all don't know who Rody Mack is. But I didn't agree with some of the things that Rody Mack was saying. But out of respect for Rody Mack, I wasn't trying to be verbally combative with him. Out of respect as an elder. So, of course, I thought that some of the things that he was saying was contrary. But because his representation, is well respected by me and others, I spoke in the vernacular of silence when he was saying certain things. As K Red would say, it's about the respect.
And I feel like every man should look at themselves like this, or even woman, you got more worth to your life than that. Mm-hmm. You owe it to yourself. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what you do for anybody else.
Boys, appreciate that 10. Appreciate that, fam. Good looking.
Nobody else. But for you, you owe that to you.
Yes, sir.
Before you can try it for anybody else. Fuck that. I'm not going to sit there and fall to say I'm bitter. Because I even said that about not having parents. And I did an interview and he asked me man, are you cool with your parents? No, I don't fuck with them, but I don't got nothing bad to say about them. Exactly. I understand life. When you kind of get older, you might see.
Blessings to Sharp. That's maturity and that's evolution. Him as a man, not holding a grudge against, his parents. That speaks volumes about the character of Sharp. Blessings to Sharp.
I see why this move might have happened the way it did, because I'm older now and I've experienced. Experience is everything, man. And I feel like people people rob themselves of it, like of experience. You want to take a detour. No, sometimes it's good running that shit head on. It's gonna make you
Who
stronger.
did you have around? You had to have some solid guys around you in order to have that
Well,
perspective.
being young, being around a lot of older people.
See, that's
you
what
know
I'm
what I'm saying?
talking
I
about.
didn't hang out with kids today.
Come on.
Because that wasn't who I was gonna learn from. They just want to drink 40s and sit on the stoop.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe smoke a joint or two. I'm trying to see, man, these dudes is getting some bread.
Yes, sir.
What the hell is going on? Because I'm hurting and I'm not really touching it like that. I got dirty tennis shoes and shirts. So I'm trying to really figure it out how to really get it.
Yes, sir.
And so I start hanging around the older crowd because them were the people I felt, back then, because today the shit's crazy, but could actually teach me something, could actually show me to take some traits and I can carry them through my life to survive. And then eventually, hopefully, to be able to live.
Yes,
if I can make it strong enough. Because surviving and living is two totally different things. You know what I'm saying? What's that been like?
I ain't gonna say nothing, but I feel like a 2,000-year-old kung fu master looking at another 20,000-year-old kung fu master. Shout out to Sharp though, but I know my brother, But I'm watching, but I could just see him. Dre is cold, man. He cold. Come on.
For you, even just going through the game, man, like, do you feel like you survived through it, or you were really living?
I conquered, man. Everything that I start into, my mindset before I start is to come and conquer.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of mindset I have. America is an empire, like other empires that have existed before. Let me break this down to you, because people ask me, how did I accomplish police accountability? How am I the only one that had passed legislation and policy in this whole country? How did you get President Trump to call you? How did you get the mayor to hire you as the first official street czar?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because I'm like, they cut you, and I saw it because it was in the tabloids or whatever, that, man, they cut you a fat ass check.
Yeah.
And knowing your background, it said ex-pimp, becomes street czar, you know what I'm saying? And cuts him with commas. I don't want to put your, show business. People want to go check it out, go read the story. It's out.
Just don't disrespect the pimping, period. Like I said, all them jokes, no, come on, let's get the jewelry that's coming out of both of these gentlemen's mouths. Come on.
But you made a nice piece of change, man, from people who, obviously tried to lock you up at one point in time, man, and now they're really listening to your word.
Well, and it's not just the money, because I don't have way more money than
Of course, it's not that.
Right.
It's that it's from who it's coming from.
who it's coming from.
That's what made it priceless.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the amount per se, but it was because it was who it was coming from.
That's right.
Man.
That's right.
Come on, who's done that?
That's what I'm talking about. So, when you break it down, like, listen, man, I had the sheriff, I had the police chief, the governor of Washington, all coming for my advice, for me to counsel them about certain things. They recognized my genius. Regardless of what I had come through, what I had been through, the fact that I was able to survive that and to be in a position where I could help them benefit them, they were impressed with that, because they probably felt like they couldn't.
Intrigued.
They couldn't walk 1,000 miles in my moccasins, right? So what you said earlier is something very powerful to me, and I'm going to go back to it, about when you go through something, that it has the ability to elevate you. If you take that information and that knowledge, you can better yourself, right? I'm a firm believer in that, because that's what I did. I took that information that's transferable. The game is transferable, which means that you can use it anywhere at any time. Yeah. So when I got into the police accountability thing, in the beginning, people were like, this guy's an ex-pimp. What is he doing? This, that, and the other. Yeah. And even my family was like, what you doing? You think you smarter than white folks and all this kind of stuff? But I knew what I had to offer.
See, I don't like that. No influence. Yeah. Why not? Like, I don't like that. Like, why not no influence? Like, wow, that's a hell of a change. That's a hell of a transition. I feel like that's why people are, and to go back on it, why people are so afraid of transition, because they get no encouragement from the people that it matters from.
But you got to be aware and ready and understand that goes with the territory.
But who's ready for that? Let's really honestly look into it, right? Who's ready for their family not to, encourage them or just give them some support. That shit'll be shocking to anybody, I believe.
It's heartbreaking.
I'm sure you can get used to it, of course, but at the first initial shock has to be like, well, damn, this is something I feel like y'all would be proud of.
Yeah, but that's why you got to put the information out there so that people understand this goes along with the territory.
Right.
Whenever you're going to do something great, magnificent, maybe it hasn't been done before,
Yeah.
immediately people are going to like, man, hold on. What do you think you're doing? You can't do this. Yeah. That goes along with the territory, right?
Dre always taught that this is your time to be big. Whenever there's a crisis, it's an adversity, whether friends or family ain't riding with you or whatever, you got to bring the game. Leaders lead beyond pain. You got to bring the game. You cannot sit up there and bring your heart. You can't bring your feelings and emotions. Bring the game. This is your time to be big. Are you going to be small or are you going to be big? And because of the autobiographical experiences that a Pimp done had in the lifestyle, it gives you preparation for adversities, that come either from family, the streets, or whatever comes your way. So yes, do we stop being human beings? Do we still have feelings? Of course. It's just that by us having the game, it enables us to mentally respond like men instead of emotionally react like the bitch. It's your time to be big. It's not your time to be small. It's your time to be the giant that you are called to be. Oh, my brother talking about, oh, my auntie don't want, my cousins don't believe. And hey, the brothers, the family of David, when Yahweh had spoke to Samuel about who to anoint as the next king after King Saul. When you looked on David's appearance, of course the family was like, but even his father, Jesse, he was like, yeah, I got another son, he be in the field. He just be, in the field and things. He be praising God, magnifying God and everything like that. He ain't like my other sons. He ain't really strong in stature. He's not, equivalent to them. So I already know you don't want my son. And that's exactly who God wanted. It's your time to be big. Even when family don't recognize your greatness, even when friends don't recognize your greatness, you recognize it. And like Dre said, it come with the territory. It's your time to be big.
But when you accomplish it, guess what? Everybody's like, man, I was with him all the time. You know what I'm saying? Right. I knew he could do it.
Yeah.
Right? But let me say this, man, because I want people out there to understand, especially youngsters, right? That I remember when I was living in Houston, and I was away from, there was nobody pat me in the back, nobody singing my praises, and I was in obscurity. And I had to learn how to be content in obscurity when praise and hate meant the same thing to me. Let me say that again. I had to learn to be content in obscurity where praise and hate meant the same thing to me. That allowed me to accomplish police accountability. Because it didn't matter whether somebody hated me or when somebody was singing my praises, because it was the same to me. It wasn't even about them anymore. It was about the objective of me being there to help my people. And they might not even see while I'm living. It might be something that they understand or benefit from later. And that's fine with me because I just wanted to achieve it. What did we do?
Instantly, some of y'all, I told you to memorize that scripture. As David said, that word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against thee. Instantly, when he said that, you should have thought about the Apostle Paul. When he said, I have learned that whatsoever state I'm in, to be content. That's instantly the first scripture that should have came to mind. Because that was very, he wasn't doing nothing but bringing this game. Come on.
We passed Initiative 940. I made Washington be the first and only state with a police accountability law.
Come on.
Now, this is unheard of from a man coming from my background. The sad thing is that none of our platforms ever came and interviewed me. The Breakfast Club never said anything. None of our supposed major black platforms ever came in and said anything. But you know who came? White folks' platforms. The New Yorker, came.
Right.
Right? See,
The New Yorker. The New Yorker. Breakfast Club didn't come, but the New Yorker did. Who the fuck needs a Breakfast Club when you got the New Yorker?
Times came. Fox News, where I was on Hannity twice. The president of the United States, Trump, they came because they understood the amount of brilliance it had to take for me to have accomplished that, and it hasn't been done in the world, in the country before. But why did our people not come? Because I wasn't entertaining? Because what happened and what I was able to do wasn't urban? Because it was on a systems level? You see what I'm saying? So we got to do better, because right now we're losing because we have elevated entertainment bigger than anything in our culture. Anything.
All the way from sports to acting to you name it.
Entertainment is number one, and we ain't mad about our brothers and sisters having money.
Right.
Bless them. But we can't allow entertainment to be the most important thing to us. Let me tell you, other cultures, they have billionaires because they have done something with technology and built corporations, so they can afford for some of their people to be in entertainment, because that's not the driving force of their culture.
Right.
Their young people ain't growing up saying, I want to be in entertainment. They want to be like these billionaires. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That have created and produced something. But we only have entertainment. And like I said, I'm not mad at none of us.
Yeah.
But that's where we at right now. And that's problematic as we try to move forward. It's hard to do that, man.
Yeah.
Because we don't value information and knowledge. We'll go around a corner for a mixtape. We'll have hundreds of people lined up for a mixtape. But when it comes to a book that has some knowledge and some information that can empower us and help us overcome our greatest enemy, which is white supremacy, there won't be 5 people in line. That's what I'm trying to make the example. You see what I'm saying?
I see exactly where you at with it. That's
that no black platforms came and said anything. And I'm not hating, I'm not mad. It's cool. I'm just pointing it out.
Right.
The obvious, right? And we got to do better, man. We got to do better. Right?
Our people have always selected, entertainment over enlightenment. Always. Always. We've always, matter of fact, even when it comes to political views, we so messed up, we thinking about what a rapper talking about. We want a rapper, like, I've even heard certain individuals, if Kanye run for president, I'm a vote for Kanye. Don't nobody think like that but our people. You know what I mean? We letting rappers and basketball players, give you the political views and shit like that. Boy, it's fucked up.
Right.
Because like I said, it's all about receipts to me. What is the receipts? We have a lot of people talking, saying some powerful stuff in our community. You can bring your words to the table, but I'm going to bring my work. I'm going to bring my receipts to the table. And all of that talking is good, but it's not good enough. Because when I be asking people, Sharp, this is what I say to our brothers and sisters. Has your philosophy changed your community? Has it changed your city? Has it changed your state? Well, why are you out here trying to sell your philosophy to our people when you haven't impacted your own community with it? So when I'm talking, I'm bringing the receipts. This is what my information has been able to provide. Here are the receipts, because I love our people enough to give them something solid and not just trying to sell them on pretty talk.
Right.
And I do talk good, but I got
the receipts.
But I got these receipts, Sharp.
Yeah.
You feel me, man?
I feel it, man.
Yeah, man.
I feel it.
Please believe.
How long have you been an activist or a street czar? How long have you?
Not only does he have the receipts, but in certain capacities, he's the only one that has those receipts. So when you see different individuals running their mouth or saying anything negative about Dre, instantly you should turn a deaf ear to it. He don't just have receipts. He's the only one that has certain receipts, to be honest.
Listen, my brother got killed by the Seattle police 2016. My brother's name is Shay Taylor, my little brother. He had did 22 years. He got out 16 years after. They executed my brother. Video, they got the video of it and everything. That broke my heart. That's my little brother. You know, that's like my son to me. It was the apple of my eye. And they killed my brother. And I said, everybody got to pay. You killed my little brother? Everybody got to pay. So I left LA and went up to Seattle, Washington. And I put together.
You moved there just for that?
Just for that. I put together a campaign. And you know how I won, Sharp? This is how I won. Because I went to the Latino community. I went to the Native community. I went to the Asian Pacific Islanders, right? I went to all communities and I said, listen, they can beat us by ourselves individually, but they can't beat all of us together. Stand with me.
Yeah.
They didn't care about my background or nothing because I had the strategy. And then I took families from each one of those communities, man, and I put their voices at the forefront of the movement. So they seen white families, they seen black families, Asian families, Native families, Samoans. All these families were talking about the same thing that we've been talking about. And I told all these families, even white families, you're not exempt. Because in Washington, we had the worst law in the nation. In Washington, we had a law that said, in order for us to hold a police officer accountable, we had to prove that the police officer had malice. I was like, what's malice? They said, you got to prove what he was thinking at the time of the shooting. I said, that's impossible.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why 35 years, not one officer in Washington state has ever been brought up and convicted of a shooting in Washington state. So I changed the whole language of the law. I went and got attorneys and I changed the whole language of the law and built a movement from all these different communities, man, and made the police submit. And everybody from the governor on down submitted to the initiative. Everybody. Because I said, you can't beat everybody. And we won. And we even had the police come and be a part of it. Even the police. The FOP is known for being one of the biggest right-wing leaning police organizations in the country. Even they came. And I built relationships and showed them how to make this work with community. And today, I'm going to say it again, Washington State is the only state with a police accountability law. We passed that in 2018. So other cities have called me, can you help us? Can you give us the blueprint? Right? I can't give you the blueprint. But if you really want some help,
right,
I could do it. But the energy and the work that it's going to require is going to require some ends, because it took $6 million to do what we did in Washington State. And I didn't have that kind of money. Right? But when you build an organization, right, and you build a movement and you build a campaign, you start learning. One of the things you learn is building power. It is a typical language when you're running a campaign, knowing how to build power. That's not something that we talk about in our communities.
Right.
Building power. That's what I did when I brought all them communities together. I built power. So I didn't go in asking for nothing. I went in demanding because I had the power. And I said earlier that this country is an empire, like any other empire that have existed. And people wonder, how did you win? Because I dealt with them as an empire, and I know what empires respect. They respect power. They don't respect, why are you doing this to us? I tell our people, they got into the damn position they're in by doing it to us. Are you serious? You're going to ask an empire, why you keep doing this? And they got in the position by doing it. You can't beat them by crying. You got to beat them by building power, and they respect you. And that's what I did. I built power. I beat them. I submit them. I beat them at their own game. And today, they salute and respect me because they know I did something, because I know how they think. I know how they move. I studied them. And they know I know. But they're not worried as long as our people are just focused on entertainment and not focused on the information I can share with the receipts. As long as they ain't focused on that, they cool.
Well, people feel, and from what
Get the likes all the way up, family. This video is too important. And let me just say this. A shout out to Sharp, because see, let me also say this: when you're interviewing somebody like a Dre, they can just fire off a pimp, but at the same time with somebody with the ministry of a preacher, a ministry of a teacher, a minister. When they fired up, when that anointing comes, just be quiet and just soak the game up and wait for the right time to make a statement or ask a question. But right now, while they're on fire, while the anointing, of the game and God is upon them, just speak in the vernacular of silence and just soak up the game. Be a sponge, at that time. A lot of interviews that could have been great are often ruined sometimes because the person that's doing the interview, they trying to show the person that they interviewing that they got just as much game or more game than the individual that they interviewing. And so a lot of times they'll cut the individual off, or try to well, let me show some statements too, so women can see me or people can see me and say, hey, he's intelligent too, or he's bright too. Listen, when you're interviewing somebody else, when you're interviewing a legend, when they fired up, you should do exactly what Sharp just did at that particular moment. Be quiet and listen and wait for the right time to make a statement or ask a question. Come on.
seen, people feel like information isn't spendable. Can't go to the mall and spend information. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what the problem is. People want what they can get their hands on. They feel like, fuck what's going to help me in the future, in the long run, that could set me for a nice life. It's no, can I spend it? Can I drink it? Can I smoke it? Can I fuck it? You know what I'm saying? If they can't do none of them type of things, people don't want it, man.
That's
you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Information is the lowest thing on the market for sale.
That's good. That's good game there.
You know what I'm saying?
Them preachers would say that's preachable, Sharp. That's preachable.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really think about it, man, like, don't nobody want
Dre putting the big hat on them. You know what I mean? He is saying some shit, but that's how you get individuals also to keep saying some cold shit. Man, whew, okay. Yeah. Talk about it. Right. Man, that'll preach. Yeah. Cold. We know. As I told you, man, you know what I mean? That also get the youth worked up too. Like, oh man, Gorgeous Dre done told me I done said something. Well, come on.
Nation, that's not helping them today. That's not helping them smoke a joint or go to the club and pop bottles. It's not helping them. If they can't spend it, they don't want it.
They've been lied to, though. It is helping. It's helping you now. It's helping your future. It's helping your people. It's helping your community. That's why that saying, knowledge is power.
Why do they always think that, question for you, man, why do they always think that, people that came from the lifestyle, whether it's pimping or hoeing, are ignorant people, or we're, less than, just how they treat us. We're not supposed to have information. We're not supposed to know how to speak. We're supposed to be staying in hotel rooms, checking a couple, pretty much hoe hustling, getting a couple $100 for the day just to pay the room and maybe get a sack.
The scripture said those are the ones that he's choosing. Do you know how humbling it was for law enforcement and all these powerful people to have to submit to me, a man that was born from a prostitute and a pimp? But that was God's doing.
With no college education.
He'll take somebody that...
With no college education. That's what people are not looking at. You know what I mean? With no college education. He is a true example of your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will make room for you. The gifts and callings of God are without repentance. This man has no college education, and he's doing the things that he's doing with the help of God in this game. No college education. To me, I think Dre could have I think Dre could have went to any school and excelled academically, truthfully. But man, cold. Just ain't got nothing, just nothing but this game.
World considers a nobody and should never been able to accomplish nothing because your background, because your mama was a hoe, because your daddy was a pimp. This man, we should never have to worry about. That's the very person the Most High will use just to humble them. Just to humble them. Just to show them you don't own knowledge and you don't own information. I'm going to impute knowledge and information in this 1 or 2 or 10 that you consider a nobody. And I'm going to show you that I'm still the Most High on the earth. That's what he did. Because they still bewildered right now. How did that man do that? With smoke and mirrors, I guess.
Let me ask you a question. What you remember when you came in the game? What do you remember about the first chick like you connected with?
The first, I'm going to tell you the God honest truth, man. So when I was in Seattle and I seen these 2 girls, right? We were driving and me and my brother, we was in the car driving down what place called Pack Highway. And I seen these 2 girls in the car. They were coming this way. We're going this way. And I was like, pull over. So it was like AM, PM, right? And we pulled over and we started getting at the little broads and stuff. And, you know, I said, won't you guys come on by the house, right? And they said, we're Jehovah's Witnesses and yada, 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 right? And we're going to go do our, whatever their Jehovah's Witness thing in our community so they can come by. So sure enough, one of the girls came by and stuff. And man, I wasn't in the game. But them broads said, we're looking for a pimp. This is a true story. Are you a pimp? I wasn't. I was like, yeah, I'm a pimp. True story, man. Ron turned me out, man.
So you got moved by a Jehovah's Witness.
Hey, this is a true story, man. She said, we're looking for a pimp. Are you a pimp? I was like, yeah, I'm a pimp.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's a true story, man. And every time it's a true story, man. I don't know if I would have ever gotten to the game. But she was
if it wasn't for some Jehovah's Witness chicks
Jehovah's Witness chick that was doing their Jehovah's Witnessing, whatever, and they said, we're going to come to your area. We're going to tell our people that we're going to go in this area. And they was able to come to the area, to my house.
Wow.
Hey, it was a beautiful thing, man. Listen, I'm not mad at the game, man. Sorry.
That nigga Dre, man, it was a beautiful thing, man.
Let me tell you guys, man, I had a wonderful time. The good, the bad, the indifference, right? And if I wasn't a man given to change and growth,
right,
maybe I could have still been there. But people, like I said, let me go back. Somebody said, why you leave the game? Because I conquered it. I conquered it.
Got all you was gonna get.
And I'm not a coward. Once I conquer something, I'm not going back to it. I conquered that, man.
Yeah.
So it was time to find something else to conquer. Police accountability, all that, I conquered it. I conquered it. I got the receipts, just like in the game. People know.
Yeah.
So now I'm in doing music, right?
That's live. How's that been for you?
Man, I love it, man, because listen, man, I was doing music back in 96, back in the Bay and stuff. But in American Pimp, they alluded to the fact that I had some CDs and stuff, you know, when they came into my house and all that stuff. So just coming full circle, being able to, there's something about music that allows you a release like nothing else.
Yeah.
And there's just some shit inside of me I needed to say. I needed to get that shit out, man. I needed to be honest. My father wrote the all-American novel called The Myth Man. And he told me, whenever you are doing anything and you are saying I about something, you got to be honest. So when...
Yeah, y'all go get that too. You know, The Myth Man, you know, Mel Taylor. You know, matter of fact, if I'm incorrect, I'm sure somebody will correct me, but you know, I know pretty much like 99.9% I'm correct. You know, Mel Taylor broke on them people, you know, for 100,000. Yeah, he got 100,000 for them from them people, you know, for his book. I remember that. And another thing about Mel Taylor, he wrote himself out of prison. See, that's what I said, man. You know, it's just things about if it would have been asked, they could have led to some things. A lot of you don't know about Mel Taylor sitting over there actually writing the judge. He wrote himself, he pimped himself, he campaigned himself out of prison. You know? So it's not really surprising for those that especially knew his father to see the greatness that's being manifested out of Dre, because that, it was expected seeing that he was the son of Mel Taylor.
The book, this music is like my book. It's like a mob boy coming home, writing a book and becomes a movie. This music is my book. I'm able to express the way I felt when I was in the game, how I thought when I was in the game, what I did, how I moved. I'm able to put that in my music, man. And I'm able to get all that shit out. And I needed a vehicle. I needed something I could be passionate about.
Right.
And that's what Many Shades of Dre is. It is an expression of some real shit that I lived, man, that I passionately lived, that I believed in. And it's a vehicle for me to release it. Now, after the music, I'm under something else. But right now, I'm focused on this music. And I got about, 6 videos that I released. 4 or 5 of them has been on BET. And it's been wonderful. I got my son, Cashin' Over KP, released his first video, I even got Wifey, release of 3 videos. This is a family affair.
Yeah. Speaking of family affair, man, I want to, before we get out of here, I want to give a couple minutes, man, to to Kenny Red, man, and send my condolences, man, because that was our people, man, and, it was a tragedy that just happened. It was just, man, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even think, man. I can't even think now about it, man. But I'll tell you, I'm gonna miss him dearly, man. Last time I saw him, man, we was just in San Diego. We drove back. Man, me, him, Silky, your son, and his son, man. We drove back, stopped, grabbed us something to eat, man, chopped it, because I've been good friends with him, man, for a long time. And he always been a good brother, and I feel like that put a huge dent in the game. Like that's a gap that's missing, and I'm gonna miss him dearly, man.
Man, I love Red, man. Me and Red go back, man, so far, man. Just many of you know Kenny Red was also an American Pimp.
Yeah.
And we filmed him in DC, and he was just so wonderful, man. Just his comedic relief and just the way he talks, and he was a beautiful, beautiful spirit, man. And it is the end of an era. His passing, his transitioning is the end of an era, man. I always say, the Bible say that he that has friends must show himself friendly. And Red had so many friends that loved him from around the world, man. I can't even imagine what the funeral's gonna be like, man. He was so loved, so endearing. I love him, and hopefully they let his son get out of jail. One of his sons, he has all of his kids, let me just say, all of his kids graduated high school. Me and Red used to talk, and he said, man, they don't think that, people that come out the game care about their kids and all that, man. And I said, man, it don't matter what they think. I'm proud of you, man. Every one of them kids graduated and some gone to college, and, he did a good job, man. And I love him, man. And, reach out to his family, his kids. You guys stay strong. One of his youngest sons just went to college, and I told Red, have him call me, man, and I got a couple dollars for him, man. I want to support him. I want to let him know that you got people rooting for him, man, from around this country, man. And yeah, man, I love Red, man, and we're going to miss him, Sharp, man. We're going to miss him, man. He'll never be replaced. He'll
never be replaced, man. He was really a concrete general.
Man.
We're going to go on that note, but I want everybody to know, man, love your people, man, because you never know when they gonna go. I woke up to that shit, man, and it fucked my whole day up, man. Like, it ain't never gonna be the same without K-Red. And K-Red, we love you, baby.
We love you, Red, man. Let me shout out how they can get in contact with me.
Yeah.
at Real Gorgeous Dre on my Instagram. My YouTube is Andre Gorgeous Dre Taylor. Y'all come.
Let me say that he's right about that. K Red, man, man, was, as I like to say, a charismatic and magnetic personality like no other. You know what I mean? Cold with it, man. And, not just with the personality, but with the physicality, just being a blessing to the youth. A lot of guys, at that age and stage, they let themselves go. And to see somebody, in their 60s, still working out, still abstaining and refraining, from a lot of, food that's really destruction, putting in his body and things like that, So just being all the way real, K Red, even outside of just the pimping, as a man, he was just a likable individual. It's just like when Bishop told y'all years ago when Don Juan said these words: the people got to like you. The people got to like you. You might have cars and, clothes and everything. And, you can have, places and the little girls and everything. You got to have the hoes and everything. But the people got to like you. The people got to like you, man. It's some individuals that got some cold materialistics and things like that. But when they die, it'd just be another service that just came and went. Ain't gonna be no hundreds or thousands of individuals, to come on one accord to pay homage or honor. It ain't gonna be like that. Everybody not like that. So again, yeah, man, blessings to the family. May the mercies of God and may the peace of God that passeth all human understanding be with his family and friends as of right now, and especially his son Tyree, that's currently and temporarily locked up right now. Blessings to him, and of course, blessings to Tay. Now, as far as Dre, I also want you to peep game on that. Did you just see how Dre plugged himself? Now, of course, they plugged him in the beginning, but did you just see how he plugged himself? Yeah, a lot of you individuals can learn from Dre. Stop going on these platforms where it's a million subs or millions of subscribers, and you're saying things and doing things, and this white man or Jewish man or whoever's presiding over the channel is going to have this footage that is going to continue to make them money while you're living and even after you die. So you would be a fool to keep getting on soft white underbelly platforms like Vlad TV or No Jumper, and you don't say your Instagram, your YouTube, your book, your music that's coming out. You have to promote yourself. What did you just come on here for? Just to get views for another platform? You don't have a platform to support? You don't have a book? You don't have no music? You don't have nothing to come out? So, always have something to promote. Promote what you got going on. And I just like the game that's being presented right here, of course, with Dre. He did not forget to, give the people information so they can have a conversation with them, later on. So again, I gave you guys good game if you're going to do an interview, and I also gave you a good game if you're going to preside over one, if you're going to be the interviewer. But yeah, stop getting on these platforms and you're not plugging yourself. Announce what the hell you got going on. But yeah, let's go ahead and end this.
Yeah, follow me, see some of the things that we're doing, all the work we're doing. I want to appreciate Sharp. I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you, man.
You, as you could see, you have taken the game, the bigness of the game, and you're continually utilizing it. Look at what you're doing for us. Look at how you leaving legacy, letting brothers know what you can do. You're doing an awesome job, man. I'm so proud of you, man. You're so vast in what you're doing, man. You're being able to show your brilliance and your intelligence, and we love you, man. Sharp, we love you, man.
Hey, man, I love you too, man.
We love you, man.
For real. You hear me? We're going to catch up again soon. We're going to go talk in the next room, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to get us up out of here. The Shark Tank. No Jumper.
So that's pretty much, the interview and everything. But let me say this. On that note, Sharp is a great example of, whether you agree, whether he's a pimp or not, because I've seen people having a debate discussion in the comment section. Well, let's just say that he went from criminality to now checking legal currency. He does not have to break the law to pay his bills, to fulfill his desires. What better job is it to be able to sit in a chair and ask questions or make statements, and you checking, hundreds of, you're going to end up eventually, if he's not already, he's going to end up checking hundreds of thousands of dollars, a year. He's going to do that. He's going to end up either checking a little bit over 100 or hundreds of thousands of dollars, just talking. Not being a construction worker, not robbing nobody, he's not doing no labor. So, after they finished criticizing and wearing that cheap perfume called Jealousy, man, and, really hating on the man and everything, at the end of that, guess what K-Red used to say? You know what K-Red used to say to me all the time? Simfo, I hear what you said there. Hey, but Simfo, don't none of them people pay your bills. Yeah, hey, Simfo, hey, don't none of them niggas pay your bills, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay your own bills. Hey, he got to pay his own bills. That man paying his own bills, with legal currency now, doing something legal, not doing nothing contrary. So you got to salute for somebody that is now, generating legal dough off the game. Yeah. So blessings to everybody. I appreciate you guys at this time. Of course, it's 6:22 EST time. I might try to get off another video. I don't know, but blessings to everybody. I hope you live as long as you want, never want as long as you live. Y'all be blessed. Everybody get in the comment section and support. Help me with the algorithm, of course. But not just that, give me the like so I can get all the recommendations for this video, because, of course, it was some jewels. It was some jewelry that came out of the mouth of Dre and Sharp, that needed to be heard if they haven't already heard it already on No Jumper. But, yeah, man, blessings to everybody. I appreciate you, and we will be live, later on, man. Love you. If I don't come back within 30 minutes, I'll be back, in the morning time. We're going to end up, Sin got a little time today. Love y'all. Hope you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live, man. You know what I mean? Y'all be blessed. We out of here. Gone.